Recently, our Kristen Eskow also spoke with Congressman Greg Pence.
They're supposed to come in when there is a disaster. They're supposed to be available to help folks, and the slow walking of that assistance in Ohio is just unbelievably sad and inappropriate.
Much more ahead on that topic. Also today, we have more of Kristen's conversation with Congressman Pence on the many recent headlines involving Pence's brother, former VP Mike Pence, on his potential run for president and the classified document found at the former VP's home in Indiana.
Did that change your perspective on this situation with classified documents being found in other places?
In the very beginning, Kristen, I said, I find it hard to believe that whether it was President Biden, or Senator Biden, President Trump, or Vice President Pence, that when they leave the White House, actually the White House, there isn't somebody from archives helping them process the documents and say, no, you can't take that, we need to take that, that needs to come to us, you may keep that. How difficult a thing is that to have done for people at that level of government? So I think there needs to be a review on what the National Archives' job is, not just being a keeper, a librarian of the documents. If they have the authority to pass judgment of what you can and can't keep, maybe they ought to provide a little assistance when you're leaving office.
So a review of procedures on how these documents are handled.
And I think that's going to happen. I think the breadth of this issue has had a lot of people on both sides of the aisle go, you know, we have to take a look at what the process is, what the procedure is.
What were your thoughts on how your brother handled that situation?
Honestly, it's just it's a single word. And a lot of folks have said he's a man of integrity. He did the right thing. He called up immediately and said, hey, I just found something. Would you come over here? Maybe very different than some of the other reactions that we've seen. But that's my brother. He's a very honest man.
I know you've told me before that you'd like to see him run for president. How likely is it, do you think that's going to happen?
I hope it's imminent. Absolutely.
Have you talked to him about it?
Yeah, I have.
What have you told him?
I've told him I'd like to see you run for president. Yeah.
Does it sound to you like he's leaning toward a run? He's
exploring it. I think it's pretty obvious. And there's a lot of other folks that are going around exploring it. I like to say timing's a manageable variable. My brother has a very good sense of timing, a good political sense, and he'll make the right decision at the right time. He's only 63, and so I guess he's got about 16 years to decide if it's the right time.
All right, by the way, this week the former VP making news in an interview with CBS when asked whether he'd support former President Trump if Trump is the nominee. Pence wouldn't commit to doing so, saying, I'm very confident we'll have better choices come 2024, and I'm confident our standard bearer will win the day in November of that year. All right, turning now to the legislative session. State lawmakers will be back at the State House Monday for the second half of this year's session. And Kristen joins us now with a look at the progress they're making on several key bills at the State House.
Lawmakers return to the State House this coming week for the second half of session. That means the bills that passed in the House head to the Senate and vice versa. The two-year state budget is the focus of this year's session. It now moves to the state Senate. It does have additional money for schools and textbooks as the governor asked for, but not as much as he requested for public health. The House also added an amendment to defund the Kinsey Institute at IU. A number of controversial bills dealing with transgender rights made news in the first half of the session and are still advancing through the process. But other bills did not make it past the deadline in the first half of session, such as the bill dealing with school curriculum and critical race theory, and a bill that would have allowed partisan school board races.
Some mechanics of what it looks like, you force people to go through primaries. You know, is it just for the general election? You declare a potential party affiliation. Just hard to find that sweet spot. We didn't quite get it this year.
I think people finally realize that maybe it's after these tough school board debates and meetings that we've seen that there's enough politics in there already. We don't need folks to be putting a D or an R or whatever behind their name when they run.
Our legislative priorities, we were able to get all of our bills across the finish line and over to the House, and that includes some pieces about fiscal responsibility. So we feel pretty good about the progress we've been able to make. We've begun now to process some of the bills that the House has sent over, and taking a look at those, getting those assigned to committees.
I hope that my colleague decides to put all those controversial cultural war bills into the Rules Committee, and I'll be happy to sit with him and go through them and get rid of them. I don't think that's going to happen, but we're going to be in a position where we're going to have to be ready to defend the positions that we believe that most Hoosiers want to have.
Lawmakers will be back in session Monday afternoon. This year's session runs through late April. In the newsroom, I'm Kristen Escow.